Yourself. How long you been teaching, your age, and a little about your family?
I'm Michael Vertucci. I've been teaching here since 1991. I actually started teaching in 85. So this is my 32nd year teaching full time. Um, my family history is one of familial hypercholesterolemia. So they told me, when I had my heart attack. I knew that there was a history of heart disease in the family. My grandfather had arteriosclerosis on my dad's side. My dad, at age 60, had a significant heart attack, resulted in 4 bypasses. His brother, my Uncle Tony, died of a heart attack running a snowblower. So we knew it was there. But, I was an athlete, and at least for a while. And I felt like, my lifestyle was a little bit different, a little bit better. Actually, it was probably a little bit worse when you think about how our parents grew up and they didn't have access to the foods we have today. And their normal lifestyle is a lot more active than ours is today. I think we're a little more sedentary today. So, I had my heart attack at 58. My dad was at 60. So,
You tell us about the day you had your heart attack.
it was a typical day here at school. Spring, May 14 or 15, 2015, almost 2 years ago. Nothing remarkable about the day. Actually, if there was anything remarkable, it was the night before. I was staying up late, watching the NHL hockey playoffs, Game 7. So I came into school the next day really tired. And by about mid-morning, I started feeling like I had heartburn. And I went to the nurse for an antacid. It didn't help. Eventually, I went back to her, and she was so concerned that she left school, drove to CVS, and got some Maalox. And I took the Maalox. She had me lay down. It wasn't helping. She checked my blood pressure. She checked my vitals, and they were all good. My heart rate was like 70-some beats a minute. But, she wanted me to, follow through and call my doctor. I said I didn't need to, And so I returned to class, and I relieved the person who was covering for me and picked up with teaching again. By 5th period, I was in health class when Dave Ralott called me on the phone and said, "Yo, you're calling your doctor." I said, "Okay." So I called the doctor, and there was no hesitation whatsoever. They said, "Go to the hospital." So, I knew that they were being cautious, or I felt like they were just being cautious, err on the side of caution. Mrs. Mitchell asked me if I wanted an ambulance. And I said, "No, I'm not. I don't want to be a spectacle, So she volunteered to drive me to Lancaster General. And when they told, you walk in that hospital and tell them you're having chest pains, and it's like, clear the deck, make way. Rushed me right to the back of the building and put me in a room, and the doctor came and jumped right on it. At first, they started to treat it like it might have been a heartburn. They gave me this super cocktail of antacid and something else to take care of the heartburn, if that's what it was. And they did a blood test. And in the blood test, I showed the enzymes for heart attack. He said, "No, you're having a heart attack." So they moved me to the heart unit, and the next day they put me on the cath table, and with a catheter, they found 5 blockages. One was 100%. Just above it was a 90%. To the left of it, in the Widowmaker tubes, they found 360s. And they put in 2 stents to open up the 100 and open up the 90. And they have a method of testing the flow rate to and through any other blockages. They determined that those blockages were not significant, that the flow rate to and through was normal. So they left those alone. They're not real quick anymore to throw stents at every blockage they see. They felt that those could be treated with medication, diet, exercise, rehab. And so I felt fortunate at the end of the day to not have open heart surgery and have a zipper going down the center of my chest. Following the procedure, they increased my dosage of a statin drug and put me on Plavix for clotting, normal procedure following stent applications. They gave me another drug to control heartbeat, heart rate, to keep anything from spiking, and put me in rehab.
And what were some of the suggestions they gave you about lifestyle changes?
Well, I was real apprehensive about going on a statin drug. There's information out there that it can lead to other issues or side effects, and I was concerned about that. And I wasn't sure if leaving 3 blockages alone was a wise thing to do. So I got a second opinion. I advise all my health students, when you're talking about serious illnesses or injuries or surgeries, get a second opinion. And I got a second opinion from a leading heart surgeon at Hershey Med. And he looked at all my test results and felt like LGH did a great job. The suggestions were, or the plan is, still is, for diet, exercise, medication, and avoiding stress. All easier said than done. 58 years of a diet and a lifestyle and an attitude. You don't change that with a pill. It's something you think about and got to worry about and work on every day. I'm better off than I was before I had the heart attack, but I still have a long way to go. There's no doubt in my mind. So I try to watch my diet. That's probably the hardest thing. I've eliminated some vices. I've exercised more, but still not as much as I should. And the stress part's probably the toughest part. You spend your whole life evolving into something or someone doing something, and you can't change that overnight. And there are stressors, not only at school or in school, but outside of school, normal life. Everybody deals with it. It's a matter of how you deal with it. And so, whether it's in school or out of school, I've had to find different ways to deal with, manage, and avoid stress. I mean, you can't avoid it completely. Stress is going to be there. It's how you handle it that is important. And I think I'm doing better. But again, I still have a long way to go.
Good. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah. Hindsight's 20/20 when you're 58 and you look back on what you could have done, should have done. And habits are easier to avoid and or break earlier in life. Our students are being educated on the facts of nutrition, the benefits of exercise, the benefits of avoiding bad habits. And it's hard to get them to listen. We didn't have this information when I was in high school. We weren't told not to do these things or to do these things. And so at 58, it's real hard to make those lifestyle changes. But at 16 and 17, it's not. And, I think the important message here for our students, your students, is start when you're young to form good habits, avoid bad habits, follow nutritional guidelines, exercise, stay away from drugs, tobacco, alcohol, or the abuse of them at least. You know, I still have pizza, and I still have chicken wings once a month when with my friends. But the steady diet of indulgence in different things is what cost me and caused my heart attack. Moderation in all things, I think, is a message that I try to get through to my family, to my students. It's okay to have chicken wings now and then, have pizza now and then, but man, you gotta know when to say when with all of that stuff, whether it's diet or substances like alcohol, tobacco. And the sooner you can get into a lifestyle that's healthy and maintain it, the longer you're going to live, the healthier you're going to live.
One thing I was thinking of, you have a son. What do you, are you going to be more proactive in his being?
I have a son and 3 daughters, and they're all well aware of our family history. Now, we've been a little slow on the uptake to actually get them tested. They are still pretty young, but they know that that's in the offing, that they're going to have to be tested for their cholesterol level. The thing about cholesterol that we teach, that kids and everyone needs to learn and understand, is cholesterol comes from 2 primary sources. One is diet, but the other is heredity and genetics. And for me personally, it's a family history thing. Our livers produce more cholesterol than we need. And so a statin drug is required to reduce that cholesterol level. There are natural things you can do with your diet and exercise to keep cholesterol levels down, increase good cholesterol levels, your high density lipoproteins. But there comes a point where you may just have to recognize that without the use of a statin drug, the cholesterol levels just can't be managed in a reasonable way. And my kids are aware that they're going to have to keep that on their horizon.
Great. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that was very good.
At some point, it did that.
That's right.
That